I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers! All right, welcome to episode 41 of Stars and Marvel. Today we're breaking down it's episode 3 of Ahsoka. I keep on forgetting the first premiere was a double header. So
It's funny because it felt like one episode, even though it was 2 hours, total. Like it was like this was the shortest episode so far at like 35 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, it was.
But I still felt like one episode at double the length.
Yeah. It felt It didn't feel like two separate. They meshed well together. When I saw it was 35 minutes or whatever, I was like, ooh, that's usually a curse on Disney Plus shows when they have like the really short time. But they did a pretty good job of filling this with some decent fill. It was a filler episode.
I was gonna say it has filler vibes for sure, but it's not a bad filler episode. It is actually like my biggest concern with the show was with Dave Filoni at the helm is he having written children's shows. Yeah, usually his filler episodes are like definition filler. Like the
Lizzo and Jack Black.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I was kind of worried about. And this was good. It was a very simple episode. Yeah, with some simple Star Wars that was a lot of fun.
Dude, the dog fighting, not dog fighting, but the dog fights, that's
what it's called. Yeah, dog fight.
Dog fights. Yeah,
I guess it's not dog fighting.
Not fighting. I guess that sounds pretty bad.
The ing changes a lot, huh?
Yeah, that changes that action a lot to a pretty bad thing. But no, like the space battle. It was
awesome. And it was a really good. It was. So I'm going to be honest. I doubt we get another space battle. Really, like I think that was our big space battle. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a good opportunity. We see Ahsoka and Sabine kind of get back like into the groove of things, like a little learning curve.
Very Rebels-esque space battle, like and also very reminiscent of episode 4, like when Han and Luke were fighting.
I was thinking that the whole time.
Millennium Falcon, yeah,
very Millennium Falcon.
She even said like, "I got one," and I liked how I got this from one of the 8,000 breakdowns I watched of this episode. But when she said, "I got one," and Ahsoka goes, "Good job, keep it up." I love how Han's just basically like Han's answer when Luke's like, "Good one." He's like, "Yeah, don't get cocky, kid. Just keep quiet,
kid."
Yeah. Yeah, good job. Don't get cocky.
That's what she it's very fun, very simple, but like very much like and Val and I were talking about it, so like, there is that age gap between Ahsoka and Sabine. Like she is master and apprentice level, like age-wise at least. Even more so I guess than Anakin and Obi-Wan were. Like I feel like Obi-Wan was probably supposed to be a late teenager, maybe early 20s when he took on Anakin.
He had the Padawan braid in episode 1, so he had to have been like probably 19, 20 years old.
So that's like this is actually a even bigger age gap here, and they very much feels like a little more. I don't want to say parenting, but
I think I heard something. I think Ahsoka was born in 31 or 34 BBY, so like before. That's like they're like
that's episode 4, right?
Before the Battle of Yavin.
Yavin.
Yeah. Which it's episode 4, yeah.
So that puts her give or take in her like 40s, right? Because isn't Battle of Yavin is episode 4, and isn't this 5 years after after episode 6, which I want to say it's 10 years after. I think this is around 10 years after the Battle of Yavin.
I believe so, yeah.
That would you said 30, 31?
31,
like
31, 34. Yes, somewhere in the 30s. So yeah, she's probably
that would put her between like 40, 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now is my point.
And Sabine's probably in her 20s. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, perfect master and apprentice age of
Yeah.
the Jedi.
I gotta say, I hopped a little bit on it before, and it's still kind of in my head, but like kind of pulling off the no force thing pretty well. Like
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. You know, it's funny. You see her, Sabine does the whole like, "Can I move the cup?" bit,
Yeah.
and it's like you can't move it, you can't move it, and I'm like, and I'm watching it, and you're like, well, she's gonna move the cup at some point, right? Like
Mhm.
that's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of weird, but I like that they at least established like, well, everyone has the force. So it was a matter of if you have
It's
a talent for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I love.
They did midichlorians better than George Lucas.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what I didn't understand. I was like, because I saw an interview they did with George Lucas this week. Not they did it this week, but I saw an interview this week that they'd previously done with George Lucas where he was like, everyone in the Star Wars universe is force sensitive. It's just the fact if you have the talent or the knowledge to use it. So,
And that's, I mean, that makes sense. Like, and that's it's weird because I know people have talked about like, and I've been there where it's you don't want everyone to be able to use the force, but like at the same time, this kind of made it like okay, like
yeah.
this kind of made it work in a way that like she hasn't been force sensitive. Can they bring it out of her?
Yeah.
And it's very, I'm curious where they're gonna go with that because that idea I feel like has to have consequences. Like if she
And
does successfully learn the force.
yeah, and I have a feeling if she does learn how to, harness the force and stuff like that, I have a feeling it's not going to be her like main or like even her like third thing you know what I mean? Like she'll
Right.
probably use
She's
her
not force
blaster
and dual wielding.
exactly. Yeah, she'll probably use a blaster before she uses you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
probably like dire need, last ditch effort. All right, let me pull this out of my, pull this out of the
Last
bag.
second.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just doesn't feel like her character. So
No.
it will be cool to see her use it, but at the same time, I do like the idea of emphasizing
And
it's not her forte.
it would be pretty lame to have not every major character, but for them from now on to have every major character wield the force. Because like
I
it would
agree.
be
It makes it less special.
yeah, exactly. And it would be
And
like
that's
like
the argument.
could you imagine if they gave Han the force, like if they had Han use the force, like
Right.
that would have been dumb. Like I would have walked. Wasn't even alive when the original trilogy came out, but I would have walked out if that was the case.
But that's what like I even like I don't know, like sequel trilogy talk, like Rise of Skywalker, I know is a mixed bag for a lot of people, but like I didn't necessarily hate the idea of Finn being force sensitive because I
Yeah,
loved the idea that stormtroopers were being rounded up, or not rounded up, but
just like taken.
like
Yeah,
they right, like children were being abducted that were force sensitive, and then essentially they were being uh hypnotized like
yeah,
into not knowing about it and to you are a drone for the empire now, the first order, but like so that idea still that it's a secluded scepter of people that are specifically force sensitive, like I still like that factor of the Star Wars universe, but I still didn't hate this. So I don't
yeah.
know, it's a weird like because I don't want it to be that Ahsoka could just teach anyone the force, but also this was okay.
Yeah,
This was okay.
and the training montage, not the training montage, but like the training bit was awesome. Like when she was training with Hu Yang
That was very
in
cool.
their
That was
ship,
very
and
cool.
then like they had the Japanese not kendo sticks, but something like that. Yeah, like they were using like wooden sticks
I
or
forget what
wooden
they're called.
swords.
The
Yeah,
training swords.
yeah. Um, and dude, the editing they did for when Ahsoka put the mask on uh Sabine and was like, follow my voice, listen to where I am, and like the audio is on the right side of our, like I mean I listened to it on my TV, like I was watching on TV, but like you could still
Right.
hear it was like from the right side, and then
Yeah.
she turns to the right and she's on her left. I was like, damn, that was pretty cool. Like
That's good
that's
editing.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And that was a great, that's what the I mean, I don't even want to call that action, but the like the Jedi aspect of this show is just perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's just so like clever. Like again, the show is combining, so like where the sequels I think initially, and then didn't. The sequels felt like bringing the original trilogy to the modern era. I guess is the best way to put it. Whereas this feels like we're literally combining the sequels and the prequels. We're getting
they're bridging that gap. Yeah,
or not sequels. Sorry, originals and
original
prequels.
trilogy. Yeah,
right. Because we're getting like the training montage, very very Ben and Luke. Yeah. Right, but we're getting all these Phantom Menace homages in the first episode and two. Right, like it's just very a lot of both worlds, and it's so good. It's the best modern Star Wars. It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and I like how this is also giving light to how the First Order rose, or like how
oh my god, we got to talk about how the New Republic just sucks.
Oh my god, they're just going back to their old ways already. Like,
it's so funny, and that's what I'm saying this because of what you just said. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, they are perfectly setting up how they just without the Jedi, because that's the funny thing is in the prequels, it's the Jedi's own downfall that leads to the end of the Republic, right? Like the Jedi are overconfident. The Jedi are they're overstepping, and they're the ones that essentially cause the downfall of the Republic.
Yeah.
Now the New Republic is just like, we already won. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Well, and like they still use Imperial shipyard, like Morgan Elsbeth still had, or whatever the hell her last name is, still had her the factory on Corellia, and it's like they're still using Imperial companies and facets and stuff like that, and they're just like, we'll let it go. They're loyal to the Republic. Like, they just want money. Like,
I love
obviously
how,
not.
Because in the second episode, the guy telling you, "Oh, they just want money," you're like, "Oh, I believe you," and then you realize he's fake, and you're like, "Oh, okay, so that's not true." And then in this episode, it's the senator's like, "Oh, well, no one's like still loyal," and you're like, dude, like, what?
Not? Yeah,
like, what? How blind are you? And it's just really funny because it truly sets up like an arrogance and like a it's done super well with Hera just clapping back at that one guy. She's like, "I'm sorry, Senator. Did you fight this war that I was in? Like, sit the fuck down." Like,
exactly. Yeah, like, did you lose all of your friends basically? Like, and your would have been husband? Like,
I loved that point of being like, "Did you lose your friends?" And then like the next scene we see her kid. Like, what a heart string pulling moment, dude. It's like we know she's talking about not me because I forget his name.
Kanan,
thank you. We know she's talking about Kanan, and then to literally see his son, it's just so sad. It's so sad.
So kind of off topic real quick, but I just how we see Jason Syndulla and Hera and all them, and we know the backstory that's Kanan's son, because he's like, I want to be a Jedi. Like when he says that, and you're like, that's shit. That's pretty cool. Like, but what that leads to is, not him leading the destruction, but if he joins the Jedi Temple, he'll go Luke Skywalker, and guess who else is there? Ben Solo. But
I didn't put any of this together. Again, I literally just finished watching this episode moments before our podcast. Did not put together that this first of all, didn't put together this kid is probably Force sensitive. Like, that didn't even cross my mind. He's like, I want to be a Jedi. I'm like, well, bitch, anyone can be a Jedi. I guess. Whatever. No, but like, this kid's actually probably Force sensitive. So that's crazy. But then for you to just be like, also, kid's gonna die. Also, kid's gonna get killed by Ben Solo.
But no, it's probably so, like, for people that haven't watched Rebels, it's probably so confusing as to like, who the fuck are these people? Like, it's kind of good that they don't mention Kanan and like Zeb and all them by name, because that would add so much more confusion for people already.
So,
like,
I came in to report with Val's, because I didn't have it last time when we recorded.
Did Val?
So
watch
Val has
Rebels?
seen. Val has not watched any Star Wars cartoons.
Okay.
No Clone Wars, no Rebels, nothing. Okay. She is now caught up with Ahsoka. We watched episode 3 together. So here's where she's at right now. First, she did not care for the first episode almost at all, which I was like,
I can imagine if you're not a Rebels fan. Yeah.
Right. But that's what. So she said it was too much exposition.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
because to someone who's watched Rebels, like they're just essentially recapping Rebels, and you're like,
Yeah.
yep, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And she said episode 2 was better, but like still like okay. Like she like liked a bunch of the like actiony things, whatever.
Yeah.
This episode she did enjoy quite a bit more, it feels like. But also I let slip like after the Hera and the Senators thing, I talked about Kanan a little bit, and she was like, "Oh," and like you could see like things started to
The
click,
click. Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was I was like, "Oh man, I should I not have like are we gonna learn about Kanan in the
Yeah.
show?" Is
I
almost my
don't.
point.
Could
Like
we see like a force ghost of
I
him or something, or maybe
I
like
don't
a
know. Like I
flashback, or yeah.
so it was kind of interesting getting that reaction from her because they actually haven't mentioned Kanan at all yet. Like
Yeah.
we don't know who that kid's father is technically just off of this
Just off.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So
if you're going into this with virgin eyes of not seeing any of Filoni's cartoon works, then yeah, you're like, all right, this is some green haired kid that
yeah, very green and greasy, by the way.
Yeah, very
Very
green. Yeah.
greasy
I was
green hair kid.
surprised they did the green hair because I had read that they weren't gonna. I mean, it's a little subtle. Like it's not like
Mhm.
as it was in the last
No,
episode of Rebels.
yeah,
But it's like I was looking at it, I was like, okay, it's green. Like
it is.
it's green.
Yeah,
They went for it.
it's very funny the idea that like, oh, this human and this alien have a kid together, and she gets he gets his dad's skin and then his mom's skin in his hair.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's not green himself, like a green
That would
human.
be
Like that
pretty
would
funny.
be weird.
Green
Like,
human, not even a what are they?
oh, the
Twi'lek,
Twi'lek, something like that.
Twi'lek. He's not even a Twi'lek. He's just a green human,
Yeah.
like regular. um. Some other things. Purgle. We get our
Yeah,
close up for Purgle for
dude.
the first time.
Oh, live action. That like the CG. They
Again
really
in the
they
dog
did
fight,
a
which was awesome. So
yeah.
it's
They
just
did
all awesomeness.
they did an amazing job making digitally creating the Purgle. Like that was. I can't wait to see. Like I hope we see them in action, like light up and shoot off into hyperspace because
I gotta assume that's not the last time we see him. Like
no, yeah. I mean, they're like not the main focal point, but they're like a huge.
yeah.
They're the reason why they can make this uh giant hyperspace drive thing. Like
It's a
because
driving factor, like of the
yeah,
whole show, really. Like, and we got the hyperspace ring, which is still not
that
done.
hyperspace ring. Yeah, there we go. That thing is awesome. Like
Very
the
cool.
size and magnet. Like it all that also had a very New Hope feeling where they like
Very
come
Death
over
Star
the
vibes.
horizon and like yeah, you see like the death. Like yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, no, it was very cool, and I love that they are already like just blatantly like, yeah, they're getting ready to go to a new galaxy. Like,
yeah,
we're getting ready to cross into an intergalactic travel. They talked about it's been mapped before,
yeah,
which I know Balin talked about it being a Jedi like wives' tale, old wives' fable or whatever.
yeah.
So like Hu Yang also saying that. Curious if this is kind of going to allude to something in Acolyte, maybe like we see them
Oh yeah,
intergalactic
maybe
travel and then it's
could
like
be.
lost.
So I've heard two different theories of so people think that Thrawn befriended some sort of species out in this galaxy or this other
Okay.
galaxy they're in. That's how he's coming back. Like he's got a fleet with him now. Like he's got
Well,
an
and
army.
you talked about his species was from another
The,
galaxy, right?
so they're from the unknown regions. They're from
Yeah,
this
no.
galaxy.
Oh, that's still this galaxy though.
That's still
Okay.
this galaxy. They're just from the non-charted star map.
Was
And
that canon books or legends books?
I believe the unknown regions is canon. Like
Okay.
they're canon, but they're mentioned a lot more in like the legends books and
Sure.
stuff. Because his race is the Chiss. They're the Cis or Chiss, something like that.
Just.
Chi. But the so there's two species that might be or races, whatever you want to call them, alien groups that are coming through, that might be coming through, which will be like a big threat for like the Heir to the Empire movie and stuff like
Sure.
with Thrawn. The Yuzhong Vaughn, which I've heard, which are like a masochistic, crazy alien species that like apparently thousands or millions of years ago, whatever Star Wars time, conquered majority of our galaxy, and then then the Rakatan, which are like
Those sound familiar.
they're kind of like nerds, like little nerd aliens.
Fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds, but they're like super smart and like, a bunch of little Tony Starks running around. But so I've heard two theories about that, and that's how Thrawn is calling out to Morgan Elsbeth, because that map that they have it's not showing them to where Thrawn's exactly at. It's just
I still agree with that.
It's just showing what galaxy he's in.
Yeah.
And then and I think that Eye of Zion or Scion, whatever they're calling it, I think that's going to be more of a portal, not a thing they shoot out to.
You mean the hyperspace ring?
You think it's
gonna? That has been something I've been wondering about, because it does look very like you're gonna see the shimmer and something comes out of it, rather than they
like almost like Avengers-esque, like when when the Chitauri come through.
Right, exactly. I would agree. That is more the vibes I'm getting from it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
My only thing with that is, why would they need all these hyperdrive, like hyperspace drive? Yeah,
but you could argue that they're using the hyperspace drive. I feel like I'm about to Ferris Bueller it. Yeah, they're putting it in reverse. Yeah, and they're sucking it to them rather than going to it.
Yeah. I mean, that science. Science.
Valerie had the funniest fucking thing while we were watching it. She goes, why don't they always like hit things when they're in light speed? I was like, oh well, there's some bullshit reason, like they're calculating things so they don't. But I mean science,
yeah.
I know that was the funniest part. Was like, I mean, they kind of addressed it in like the original trilogy, but no one cares.
No, yeah, it's science. It's the I know. I went and saw Empire Strikes Back at the Colonial on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And
still holds up.
Yeah, oh yeah, so but no, just the scene where like I love how, sorry, just a quick tangent. I just love how whenever anything goes wrong for Han or for Lando, they're like, it's not my fault. I don't know what happened. It's not my fault. Like they immediately just go to like, I'm not to blame. Like my ship, and I'm not to blame.
I didn't know it.
Chewie, what the hell did you do?
And that's what's funny. That is maybe like the weakest, like in what is one of the greatest, if not perfect movies of all time. Like maybe the weirdest, weakest point of that whole film is that like constantly the Millennium Falcon just sucks in that movie.
Yeah.
It is just broken on every other aspect of like the ship and every scene.
This like, the ship that did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs or whatever, this well-known ship is a piece of shit. Like
piece of shit.
Yeah.
But actually, so this kind of going back, and this made me think of it because I'm reading Heir to the Empire, and the last chapter I read had a really cool Millennium Falcon thing happen. But the real thing I wanted to talk about was going back to the Senators. I thought that was very Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Because again, in like every other chapter I feel like I've read, we get the scene where Han, Leia in the book, Han, Leia, not Luke, just Han and Leia are at like a senators meeting, and like they got to deal with the bullshit that is these senators not knowing what's going on. And that's what this felt like. Like, it's funny having that exact feeling. And this felt very much an homage of sorts to Heir to the Empire, where General, General Syndulla, right?
Oh, Hera. Yeah.
Hera. I don't know why I didn't just say Hera. I know Hera. But Hera, like she's arguing with all of these stupid senators that won't listen to her, and like, with a fair comeback of like, maybe you're a little just trying to get Ezra, but like also like, fuck you, know what you're doing. Did you fight in this war?
Yeah. And it's like the biggest threat from the Empire other than Vader and Palpatine is coming back, and it's like no one believes them.
I know, it's crazy, and it's funny because I actually got to a point in this episode. Oh, it was at the end to the episode, by the way, where they're lost in the woods. It's like they're not out of power, but the ship's a little damaged. They're hiding in the woods. It's powered down, right? And Balin's just on the edge of the woods, and he's like, just go get him, or whatever he says, right? It's like, okay, that's sick. But probably shouldn't be drinking beer. But what happened then is like, it just cuts off. And I remember immediately I was just like, that felt very much like movie moment, and I
Yeah,
kind of wish we were in a movie right now because it
yeah,
was like this is the part where they're on the run and he's going after them. Like, you know what I mean? But but with Filoni helming the Heir to the Empire movie or whatever it's gonna be, like this truly does feel like it's a prequel to a
yeah.
movie right
No,
now.
yeah. The I I kind of hope they don't do a trilogy movie series.
Really?
I
Okay.
I, I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna drag it out too much. They're gonna add too much. Be like, I guess they might have to because the movies are gonna be the culmination of Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Boba Fett. I guess not Kenobi, but like those those shows that are all kind of intertwined.
I don't know. You could have
Um.
Reva show up, so then yes, Kenobi.
Oh yeah, you
We
could.
don't know what Reva's been up to. I don't think
True.
Reva knows what she's been up
I
to.
don't. Yeah.
I told
I don't
Brendan
think
this.
the
I was
actress
texting
knows
him.
either.
I told Brendan. I texted him, and it's funny. I still liked Reva. I just fucking hated
Yeah,
what they did with her in
yeah.
that last episode.
The
She
character had
she
potential. It's
it
just the
it.
writing was terrible. Yeah.
I still like the idea that she was an idiot and
Yeah.
she was just blinded by rage, and that makes sense. As an inquisitor, she's not good at what she's doing. Like
Yeah.
she's not the best of the best. She's a fucking inquisitor,
Yeah.
and it worked. And then sorry, she just survives getting stabbed again, and
Twice
then
by the same guy. Yeah.
and then beats Obi-Wan to Tatooine. Like it just
Yeah.
none of that makes sense. And that's the stuff that blew me. Like, I don't hate her character as much as everyone else, but that ending just sucked
Did
so
Filoni have
bad
a
for her.
weird question? Did Filoni have a big hand in Kenobi?
He had nothing.
Oh,
He
he
didn't
had
get a
nothing.
single credit in that show.
Okay, so that's also probably. I mean, I know
Oh yeah.
Filoni's not God with Star Wars. He has his times, but he's done pretty well
It's doing pretty great.
with everything.
Like again, like I think it's fair to say that the non-Filoni directed episodes of Ahsoka so far are like kind of cinematically better, but like we've seen that before too with Mandalorian. Like
Yeah.
Filoni's writing is what we love.
His writing, his Star Wars knowledge, his fan service is very very good. Like the fact that he brought Thrawn into Rebels when Disney was like, all right, these are all legends now, and he was like,
Right.
well, we're bringing the legends back, bitch, because this guy's too good to keep out. Like,
And to your point, I mean, again, I do want to try and finish the book trilogy. It's tough. If he has a plan for one movie, I'm sure it's going to be great, and that's all we need. I'm never going to say no to more though, like because I'm a fucking glutton, and I just like I'm going to gobble up all the Star Wars content they give me.
Star Wars slut.
I mean, for real, like that's so like if they're gonna come out and be like, oh, it's a trilogy, like that's gonna get me pumped for the Filoni trilogy. You know what I mean? Like I would the Ahsoka movie trilogy.
That'll be his
lines.
like end game, Infinity War end game type thing.
But like if he also comes out and was like, we're doing one movie, I'm like, he's gonna fucking nail it. It's gonna be like the best movie in 20 years.
It's gonna be a 9-hour movie now.
I'd be okay with it. Give me the extended cut. Give me the Snyder cut, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Black and white 4:3 frame, baby.
Oh my god, that dude can suck my dick. Fuck you, Snyder. What a fucking piece of shit. What is the most pompous thing you can do? Oh, I'm gonna make it 4:3 and black and white.
And then yeah.
That because it's cinema, baby. Because what else? You know what else? Rebel Moon, since it's Star Wars related, Rebel Moon looks cool. But also,
he
has lightsabers in the fucking movie.
I know, dude. I rewatched the trailer and I'm like, this has such like. Do you remember that movie Jupiter Ascending that came out?
Mm-hmm.
It has very that feel. Like, isn't that the one with Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis and?
Oh, that's right. Holy shit! Yeah.
It was the dude. It's the dude for Eddie Redmayne, the dude from he was in Les Mis and he was in the Stephen Hawking movie. He's Stephen Hawking in the Stephen.
Yeah,
dude. Oh, it just has that feel, and visually it looks cool, but exactly the story's gonna be dumb. Like
Zack Snyder would have to fucking like the thing he would have to produce would have to be literally a 10 out of 10 movie for me to ever even be like, wow, he's coming around. Like, oh my god. And this can't be it because
No.
it so blatantly rips something off. Like, even if I like I mean, the fact that it's a Netflix movie that already gives it like a 10% bump because I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm going to
Because
watch
then
it
you
on
can
my
just yeah,
time.
exactly. Yeah, you don't have
Exactly.
to pay to watch. Yeah.
But like that's
Well,
like
you don't have to go anywhere to watch it.
exactly. But like, and it's so blatantly ripping off other things. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but I'm not going to praise it for what it is, because what it is just a ripoff
Oh,
of
right.
other shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's like
It's
fucking
it's a
no, you
bunch of
can't have McDonald's. We have hamburgers at home.
yeah.
Like,
It's a bunch of already, like you said, it's a ripoff. It's a bunch of already told stories just kind of put together in
and
as one
it's not.
thing.
It'd be. I think quite literally, if that trailer just didn't have the lightsaber things in it, I'd be more excited.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, it's an original sci-fi space movie. But then, and
Laser
like everyone
swords.
knows, like we've talked. I think we talked offline about it. Like the whole thing is he tried to pitch a Star Wars film to Disney and they said no.
Yeah.
Like, so like everyone has the idea that this was Star Wars based. So like it's a space opera. Like, okay, like other movies can be space operas. Star Wars can't be isn't it
Isn't
they
the
don't
only
have
one.
a
Yeah.
label on space operas, but then you have a fucking
Lightsaber.
lightsaber and it's
Yeah.
like, what are we doing? Like, it's
Pick
not
something else.
original.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
you can have swords, it just doesn't have to be a
Just have to be
goddamn
laser.
lightsaber.
Yeah.
And no, it's you can even have laser swords, but why are you using red and blue?
I know. Pick up
It
pink.
literally was the same. There was
Pink
no
and
originality
yeah.
there.
I know. Oh, just Zack Snyder.
Fuck Zack Snyder. Come on. And and there's still Snyder fans praising the DC universe. Get the fuck out of here.
I know. It's yeah.
Blue Beetle apparently has the best DC rating in the past like 8 years or something.
Really
6 years.
Yes. I honestly did not realize that came out. I've been seeing stuff all over like Blue Beetle. I'm like, that came out already? Like,
I the only reason I know it's out is because Adam Lemma, shout out to Adam,
hey, shout out.
he keeps texting in our group chat. He goes, I keep getting these notifications on the AMC app to go see Blue Beetle, and every time I'm a little more tempted. And we're like, don't do it, don't do it. And then the last time I'm like, just do it. Just do it. Just someone's got to do it.
Someone did a comparison. It was like, a new DC movie's coming out, and it was like Blue Beetle about a young criminal who finds a young guy down on his luck who finds an ant or a bug-like suit that attaches to him that was previously worn by an older guy who he is his mentor, and he also has a daughter who also has a suit, and it was like, so it's basically Ant-Man.
So it's Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, I mean, I'm glad it's doing well. It just I just had no interest in it. Like,
Yeah.
I
don't know much about the character, and so yeah.
I watched Young Justice on HBO. Well, yeah, HBO, Max, and Blue Beetle is very cool in that show, and this movie looked nothing like that character, and that's what really turned me off of it.
That sucks.
But like, apparently the movie's like okay.
Huh?
I'd say I watch it on HBO Max, but I literally just canceled my Max subscription. I was like $17 a month. What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I watch on HBO Max the most? Rick and Morty. You know what I have on other channels? I have
Rick and
half
Morty.
of the show on DVD. Like, I don't.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd rather pay for Hulu, which I still do.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
Balin.
So Balin Skull. I really love this character because he's not really that much of a bad guy. Like,
no,
he's technically like a dark Jedi. You know, that's you know he's not Sith. He's not Jedi. He's kind of like the gray Jedi, which I know isn't canon, but I just really like the character. I didn't notice the line in the second episode when Morgan Elsbeth tells him basically like, all right, well, we're gonna have to kill Ahsoka, like, you know, she's got to die, and he was just kind of like, I'd hate to see another Jedi die. Like, I kind of like how he feels for Ahsoka. Like, I don't want to kill her, but if it comes to it, then yeah,
right. Like, he will, but it feels very much like he doesn't want to extinguish their race, but like sort of thing.
Yeah, and I also heard a theory of, so he said because you know the only reason Morgan wants to open up this hyper, this giant hyperspace thing to get Thrawn back is because they want Thrawn. Like, they want Thrawn,
right.
they want his new fleet or whatever, or if he has a new fleet, whatever. I've heard theories that Balin doesn't want Thrawn back. He just wants the Crimea, his ship, because that ship still has the ruins of the Jedi Temple that
Ooh,
Ezra destroyed,
yeah.
which enters into the world between worlds, which would give them unlimited power. Like, so
So it's not that he wants Thrawn, he wants Thrawn's
he wants what
power.
Thrawn has. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wants the that because the temple was
Huh.
on his ship. Like the remains of the temple was on his ship. Because
Yeah.
remember the
Because that was the
emperor.
whole Emperor toying with him thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I really hope I really like
Interesting.
this like balance between uh Balin Skull and Shin Hati. Like I think she's gonna turn on him because I feel like she's more aggressive every time she's been
She
fighting.
is
She's a lot
very
more
mean.
yeah, she's mean, she's aggressive, she's just seems mean spirit, like not mean spirited, but just seems like a Sith. And he
Yeah.
seems more level headed. He's just like, hey, I want knowledge, I want power, and what we do with that afterwards is what we do with it afterwards.
I feel like he is trying to teach. Well, first, I mean, he's not being a pure Jedi, which you talked about, like a gray Jedi. He's being very in between. So it wouldn't surprise me if he is teaching her the dark side, just
Yeah,
not only the dark side,
just
right?
exactly. He's
But
he's
that's the
using
thing
that
is, I
balance.
think because she's young, she's arrogant, naive, all that stuff. She's
Shenanigan.
probably diving into the dark side.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's very interesting, and I do love both those characters. I think they're both really cool. I think Balin's interesting. I was watching a video earlier, and it brought up how like the constant question with things like this in this timeline. Like one of the reasons people are excited about the Acolyte is there's no connections, right?
no,
Maybe Yoda's in it because he's ancient, but like other than that, there's no Skywalkers. There's no where's this person? Where's that person?
they're all
Do
don't
you
exist. Yeah,
do you care where Balin was during the original trilogy? Because I personally don't,
no,
and
not
it
really.
might be the Heir to the Empire book having an influence on me already. Because in that book, that Jedi
The
that
shore of
Thrawn gets,
Both.
Kaboth
Yeah,
or
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Chaboth or whatever
weird
that.
ass name.
Yep. But like he's like, oh, I've been secluded on this mountain for eons or years or
Yeah,
whatever. Like he's just like, oh, that bitch, that bitch. He's just like Kavoth is just like
he was
that's
like a
I'm
hermit,
beyond it.
basically.
Like I have
Yeah,
nothing to do with that. I don't, and that was it. That was the explanation to why he wasn't like part of the original trilogy, and
yeah.
it works. Like that's good enough for the book, and now Thrawn seeks him out. To me, that's kind of where I'm at with
I have a
where Balin was.
I have a feeling Balin is based off of that character.
I agree.
I think that's Filoni's way because it would be so difficult trying to introduce that character because he's such a like from the parts of the book I've read, he's such a complex, weird character. So like that would be kind of too hard to
But he
translate
is a
into
deep
film.
thinker, very
Yeah,
much what Balin
yeah,
is. Like,
yeah,
and that's I think I'm just at this point where I don't some characters like all right, like if Marok ended up being uh Vader's apprentice, maybe I want a little more backstory on where he's been. But
yeah.
like Balin, I don't need
That
why didn't
mystery.
he help the Emperor or why didn't he help Luke? Because he was in hiding. Like I
Yeah,
don't like I think that's a very valid, like self-explanatory answer that doesn't need more explanation.
and his mystery also just makes his character cooler.
It
Like
does. It does. It really does.
we don't know anything about him. Like he's just some Jedi that you know uh, trained with or grew up, but was in the same time frame as Anakin Skywalker, and you know
Like what's funny? I really I love seeing Hayden Christensen back for the Order 66 scene in Kenobi, and I enjoyed the Order 66 scene in Mandalorian. Do we
mm-mm.
really need another Order 66 scene though? Like
No, no,
that's
I
what
don't
like
think
I
that
feel the same
not with
way. Like
him. Yeah,
I'm over it. Like you
yeah.
don't need to do a full
The
recap for me.
if
Am I gonna
they
enjoy it? Probably, but like I
yeah
don't need it.
I wouldn't be mad, but
Right,
it's not
right.
something it would take away from the story they're already telling.
That's what I think this show, one of the things that's cool but could be downfall in the end is there's so many characters and it's kind of at a point of like I'm realizing you can't really explore all of them.
No, yeah.
Especially with an episode like episode 3. Episode 3, you learn more about each character, but we're not getting like backstory, we're not getting flashbacks, like,
No.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's
I have a feeling it's going to
I
be
don't know.
like, because I mean, a lot of the Filoni shows haven't had many flashbacks other than Order 66 from Kenobi, but that wasn't that, and the Order 66 with Grogu. But other than that, we really haven't seen many flashbacks in these Star Wars series shows.
That's what like I liked the Mandalorian flashback from season 1 where you see Din Djarin as a child and the
Oh yeah,
super
yeah,
droids, like, and he's saved by the Mandalorians. That's a
yeah.
great flashback. I I don't this may be a hot take. Grogu's Order 66 flashback. It's a very fun flashback, but very unnecessary.
Yeah, and
Like,
it also takes away from the mystery of Grogu. Like, I
yeah,
didn't
like
need to know that he was there for Order
that's
66.
what
Like,
it doesn't do anything the more I think about it. And again, this is almost like it's that season 3 of Mandalorian, man. But like like seeing him survive Order 66, like, okay, but we don't see what happens to him. Like if anything, that just left me wanting more answers that we're probably not going to get. Like I didn't need to see him literally survive 66.
yeah. Oh, quick side note about Order 66 that I just
Yeah.
found out, which I thought was pretty cool that I never knew. Do you know what the operation name for when they attacked the um Jedi Temple was?
No.
It was Operation Nightfall. But night was spelled like night, like
Ooh,
KNIG. So
that's
like
cool.
the fall of the Jedi. I thought
That's
that was pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's
I
pretty
don't know if
clever.
that's a canon thing, but
Uh, I like it.
I heard someone call it that the other day. And like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Um,
cool. I do like I think there's a time and place for these things. Like I want and actually this goes into something I wanted to talk about today on our with you. I, I'm really enjoying this show. Like
yeah.
genuinely really enjoying the show. My big however right now though is it kind of doesn't feel like an Ahsoka show.
No, it's very much just a Rebels show,
And that's
like
what like
Sabine show almost. Yeah,
I'm kind of at this point of like I want more Ahsoka.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say was like if you're gonna give me any flashbacks, I want them to be Ahsoka flashbacks.
yeah,
Like I don't need to see a Balin flashback or a Shen flashback, or even a Merrick flashback. I want to see Ahsoka. I want to see.
yeah.
You know what would be cool. I don't know. Maybe some people are like, oh, this is a mystery thing, and I'd rather it be a mystery. But I'm all for show me how she gets the white crystals.
Yeah.
Show me how she gets white lightsabers. That's never happened. Show me
Yeah.
the how. That would be neat. Like, give me that flashback.
Well, do
Like,
you know how she got them?
I know I know how you get a white crystal. I don't know the story of Ahsoka's.
Oh, do you want me to?
Sure.
Or do you want to wait and see if they?
Because I think it's in a book, right?
Yeah,
like
it's since something she defeated an Inquisitor, and
right.
and she purified their like
The crystals.
the crystal. Yeah.
Because that's what I know is that.
Oh, okay.
So because I know in canon, red crystals, which this is, I think I've talked about this on our podcast, but like the Darth Vader comics are, in my opinion, awesome.
I listened to them. Yeah, they're
seeing Darth Vader, like one of the things in the comics was like the first thing the Emperor makes Vader do is make his red crystal.
Yeah,
and like the red crystal in canon lore is you have to kill a Jedi, steal his crystal, and then you pour your hatred into the crystal.
You make it bleed,
it makes it
right?
red. Yeah, it makes it bleed.
Yeah.
And so in canon, I knew that a white crystal is a red crystal that's been healed. It no longer has color, but it's no longer bleeding. But like that's all still like, even though it's canon, it's still like lore, you know? Like we haven't seen
we haven't seen it been done. Yeah.
That'd be pretty.
That'd be awesome to see.
Thing is, I want more Ahsoka. I want like, and if am I freezing on you?
You froze up for a second, but you're good now.
Okay, I got a warning. Anyway, my only point is, I hope there's more focus on Ahsoka. I hope any flashbacks are Ahsoka related, that kind of thing. Shoot, I think I had something else, but I'm good. Keep going.
You want to talk about the what you want to talk about Merrick?
Man, I'll talk about Merrick all day.
I've heard so I've been watching the new Rockstars and Screen Crush breakdowns of
Oh yeah. So I obviously haven't watched their videos yet because I just finished it.
I
But
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
this is from the previous episodes, not from the. They didn't talk about it much in
Oh, dude, you
this
can
one.
spoil New Rockstars if you want. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
not gonna. Okay.
Um, so I forget which one agrees. I think Screen Crush believes it's Ezra. New Rockstars wants it to be Starkiller.
Okay.
Um,
That's how
I
I hear it. Every time I see a video, it's so and so thinks Ezra, so and so
so
wants
one
Star Killer.
Starkiller. Yeah, I just
No
I
one, no one's willing to make that commitment.
so yeah so I saw I guess Sam Witwer does like Twitch or something like that, or did some live stream, and was like
Really,
playing video games
I know
and
he's done.
was
He
talk
has in the past. Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
and he was talking and they were like, I guess someone asked like, oh, um I guess this was before Ahsoka came out. But I guess someone was like, "Oh, are you going to be in Ahsoka? Like, we saw you were, you did some you did some voices in. He did one of the stormtrooper voices, and I think the Mandalorian or something,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
or in Andor. He did a stormtrooper voice in Andor.
Oh shit, good for him.
And someone was like, "Oh, are you going to be doing anything in the future?" And he kind of bobbled around like, no, I don't think. Well, I guess I did kind of do something for Ahsoka, but yeah, like he kind of bobbled the question, like
Okay,
almost kind of like Andrew Garfield, how he was like, "Oh no, I'm never coming back to being Spider-Man." Oh, well, maybe you never know. Like
right.
I have a feeling that because like also in this episode too, when
We get Merrick's
Shinhati and
voice.
Merrick are we get obviously we get his voice, very robotic.
Yeah,
Someone said
but that's like it could be anyone.
yeah, I
Like,
mean it's a yeah, I mean it's someone, but someone said it sounded someone said um the way they talks they because it seems like he reports to Shinhati, like reports to both of them, but reports to both of them equally.
right,
Like he doesn't treat
sure.
Balin over, as far as we've seen. And someone said he speaks very much like Darth Vader would to um the Emperor, not and also when he saw the Purgle, he looked surprised. Now I like he kind of like I know we can't see his face, but the way he turned, he like had that like
Oh,
like
okay.
when you see something like shocking, you usually
Yeah,
like go fast. He kind of went like really like had feel like a confused look. So
yeah.
I don't I really I mean I really don't want it to be Ezra because that would be fucking dumb, and I'm gonna be
Oh, okay.
pissed
Now I get it because like
because Ezra would be like, I know what these are.
Ezra wouldn't even look at him.
No, he'd be
Basically,
like, this is another
he'd
Tuesday.
flip him off as he drives
Yeah,
by, honking his horn.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't explain that fully,
No,
but
no, no. I
he
love it. I love
seemed
the reveal.
surprised, like what the fuck are these? Like like I know we
I
can't see his
still,
face, but like his body expression was like the fuck, like
I really hope it's not Ezra. Like,
no.
and like, I again, I am biased, and that's going to impact my thoughts. But like, I'm just at this point where I really think Ezra's too pure to ruin him
And
with
there would
this.
be so much yeah, and that also too, he's so pure, he's had access to the dark side, and he through Kanan's wisdom was told, hey, don't fuck with that shit, 'cause you're not coming back from it. And like he redeemed himself so much throughout Rebel series. He sacrificed himself to save his friends.
Yeah,
Like why would he turn, like
yeah,
why would that happen? And why the fuck would he have an Inquisitor's lightsaber? Like
yeah,
why would he, like that doesn't make any sense. And also another reason why I think it could be Starkiller is Filoni had said if they were to ever
yeah.
canonize Starkiller, I forget if you said this or not, but
Nah,
they'd bring him back as an Inquisitor if
because
they
it
were
makes
to ever,
sense.
yeah, it just
Like so that's in canon. Inquisitors were all handpicked by Vader,
mhm.
and essentially he gave them minimal training, and then was like, "All right, fuck off and go do my job."
Yeah,
Like that. He hates them. He hates
yeah,
all of them, but like he did pick them, and so it would make sense that like they're if it would make sense Starkiller wouldn't words. It would make sense that if Starkiller exists in canon, it would be an Inquisitor that he essentially favored. Like
yeah,
he actually liked this one.
yeah.
And that's what like so he would probably pick up his mannerisms, like talking like him, he'd probably fight like him in a way. There are all these things. I think I actually wanted to say this, and this is I will believe it when I see this. Obviously, he takes his helmet off and Sam Witwer. But like if if we see Marok use Force Lightning before he's revealed, that's the tell. Like,
or just like an insane power of force, because like
so
Starkiller is
that's,
so strong. Like,
and I do want to say that, like yes, first of all, that'd be fucking awesome. But
yeah.
like, I also am very okay and accept that like he's nerfed. Like, I don't
Yo,
need
yeah.
Star Killer from Force Unleashed.
No, we don't need him to stop
We don't need a god in
yeah.
the universe.
We don't need
like,
him to stop a Imperial Star Cruiser and crash it into a ship, yeah, or into a
although
planet. That would be pretty cool.
it'd be pretty sweet if Ahsoka tries flying away and he
Oh, that would be
come
sick.
back down
That
here.
would be sick.
No, but like I'm very okay with him being nerfed. Like, I don't need every single power in the book that Starkiller had. It was a video game. There was a reason it was a video game. But I was thinking about this the other, I think it was yesterday or just before watching the show today, maybe. But like, correct me if I'm wrong. The only people that have used Force Lightning are Sidious and Dooku. Like,
And Rey used it for like a split second.
oh,
in
that's
Force
right.
Awakens, because she like blew up
Rise of
the
Skywalker.
transport. Yeah, or yeah, not Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
So, man, okay,
But she's a
We're gonna have to
Palpatine.
really talk about those movies at some point. But my point is, in this time period, right now, no one could use the Force Lightning.
Yeah.
So like, if he is like, say they're like having a big Force battle next episode, and he doesn't get unmasked, but like he fucking Force lightning blast someone, that's gonna be, I'm gonna come
nail
on
the coffin. Yeah,
I'm just gonna be like, it's Galen Merrick, Starkiller, suck my dick. I am aggressive as fuck tonight, but like, holy shit.
But you know what? I also wouldn't be upset if it was just it's Merrick. Like, it's a separate character. It's not Ezra, it's not Starkiller, it's just some Inquisitor that they picked. Like,
I said that before, I think on our,
but I wouldn't be mad. Yeah.
That's what, like, it doesn't have to be verbatim Starkiller, because I was thinking about that too, actually. It wouldn't make sense to call him Starkiller because of Starkiller base. Like, because now if this guy is Starkiller, like, does he create the First Order? Because then maybe it kind of makes sense, but like, that's a lot of, you're setting yourself up for failure, I think, if you do that. Like, like, I think it makes more sense that Marok is his Sith name, and I don't know, maybe his name is still Galen Marok and he just goes by Marok. Like, I'm okay with this being a new character based off of Starkiller. It doesn't have to be him.
Yeah,
just give me Vader's apprentice. That's what's cool.
Because we want to see Vader's apprentice versus Anakin's apprentice.
He already did
fucking cool.
He did the lightsaber throw.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a signature Darth Vader move.
Like, signature Vader / Starkiller move. Like, I'm all in on that, obviously. But I saw, so we took a quick break earlier, and during that time I was watching Star Wars Theories videos. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh yeah,
hit or miss for me. But like, I was watching, he did a like episode 3 Ahsoka video.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yep.
And so why he thinks it is Starkiller, and it's like, he compared Marok's voice to Darth's evil Starkiller in his helmet, and it's like, it's very similar, like, styles of talking is what I'm trying to get at. Like, that very, and then again, it's very Vader-esque. It's very like quick and like stop, like start stop, like with his speaking. He's not like,
he gets
emphasizing
right to the point.
things. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, and that's the whole thing too, right? Like, with this mask, it could be a chick. It could still be, what's her name? Offie or
Barriss Offie. Yeah.
Like, and I would be okay with that. Like, it's just like, it's kind of the cool thing about the mask is we're sitting here guessing the whole time. It could be fucking Greedo's back, baby. He survives, and it's Greedo the whole time.
Greedo, baby.
But no, I am pretty excited right now. I every episode has made it more in my head, like, it's gonna be him, and I'm gonna be fucking crushed in about a week or two.
I'm not gonna be crushed if it's not him. I'm just gonna be crushed if it's Ezra. Then I'm gonna be like, I just couldn't see Filoni doing that to him, though. Like, I could not see Filoni, the character he created, the character he, I don't know the right word, but not groomed, but like, made into be this such powerful and
I get
and
what you're saying. Like he had grow, like this character that had character arc, like,
growth. There we go. Yeah,
but he
yeah.
went through a completed character arc.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like, and why would he just throw that all away
I
yeah,
agree. I think you're throwing it away just to have a live action version, and that's pretty
pretty dumb.
weak sauce. I shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, I did have a question for you though. Kind of going random but still related Star Wars in this. If Ezra comes back, regardless of who, how, etc. Ezra comes back at the end of the show. He's fine and dandy. He's Jedi Master Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller. that's Flash, right? Like the actor.
Yeah.
Not fine and dandy. No, but he's back. He's fine. Does Ezra become the main character in the movie?
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I have a hard time pinning down because as I do like Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, by the way. I don't think we've really talked too much about her performance. She's doing a great job. I think
I've heard a lot of criticism, but I like it.
I think it's unfair. Again, I'll say Star Wars Theory does a video that kind of talked about this, but like this is a dark time for her.
Yeah.
And like she's not in a good spot. Like
she's also not 15 years old and a giddy teen.
Exactly. Like she's not a teenager who's been like she's not Snips. She's not Snips anymore.
Yeah.
She is an adult older than either of us even like right now. Like she has had life hit her hard. She's been in hiding the whole time. They even talk about it in the one episode where Sabine is like, "Where do you call home?" And she's like, "Oh, the ship's fine." Like she's not happy. Like that's not happiness.
Her master, who she thought was dead, was not dead. Was the reason why all the Jedi are dead. Is the reason why she's in hiding.
Right. Like was the reason why they're all in hiding. Came back just to fight her.
Tried to kill her.
Just to try to kill her again. Like round 2. I guess round 1 was the Emperor, but like, it's insane. Speaking of flashbacks, I know I said it already, but give me that fight. Give me fucking live action Darth Vader versus Ahsoka. I want to see that so fucking bad. Anything else in this episode though? Like I'm trying to think.
Nothing really. I mean, there wasn't. We pretty much touched on everything that really happened. Like
again, it was we talked about it. It was a filler episode,
but it was good.
It
was yeah. What do you think next? What do you think next episode entails, and when do you think we'll get Thrawn?
I think we're pretty close.
I think it's gonna be
there's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah,
it's 8 total.
I think it could be episode 5, maybe 4, episode 5. Like, because I don't think it's gonna be like an end credit, not an end credit, but like a last episode.
That would be pretty wild. I mean, we saw him in the trailer.
Yeah, they wouldn't show him in the trailer if he's not going to be in the show for a good decent amount of time.
I mean, you say that, but
true.
Although it's not Sony. It's not Sony doing an Amazing Spider-Man trailer.
That's true.
That's a worst trailer of all time. I mean, great trailer, but like for the movie, horrible.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, if I'm going to throw numbers out there, I think Thrawn is revealed in episode 5 ending. And we get him for episode 6 episode 6 ending, and we get him for 2 full episodes, 7 and 8.
I would like that.
I think my big statement right now, and I don't know if this is obvious, I think the hyperspace ring activates next episode.
Yeah.
And so close, I think that's
and also next episode I think we're gonna get that because it'll probably there we go. Remember that scene in the trailer when Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka are fighting at the star map?
I don't remember them fighting. I remember them being at the star map together. Yes,
or they're talking or whatever. They had their
because that's what he goes.
He was like, I knew
mentions Anakin.
Yeah. I think that's going to be next episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that's when they're going to be powering up the
ring.
The ring.
Okay. I definitely think that's what I think next episode is. I definitely think that scene is next episode because they've set us up. Like we're on the planet of the ring.
They're searching for them, and yeah.
And I also like, it's funny. Like it was cool seeing Hera argue with the Senate and like they're not getting along, blah blah blah, all that stuff. It was also like pretty good plot device for Sabine and Ahsoka being alone right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they're
Give them a
screwed.
little.
They're
Yeah.
kind of screwed.
Yeah, they don't have any backup. They don't have any support. They're on their own.
We're kind of gonna get a better version of the Kylo Ren Rey slash Finn fight. Like
Yeah,
at the end of Force Awakens in the forest. Like I feel like we're about to get a. I
might
think
get
we're
a
about
better
to get
version of that.
next
Yeah.
episode. I'd be willing to say we're gonna get some baller lightsaber action.
Oh yeah,
I'm pumped.
it's gonna be a redeemed, not redeemed, but like a round two of Shinhati and Sabine, and then it'll be the face off of Ahsoka and Baylan Skoll. Whether or not they fight is we'll see.
I do want to see Baylan and Ahsoka go.
I know there was trailer footage of their lightsabers clashing. I don't know where it was at, but it could be next episode. It could be later on. So
just don't really remember the trailer. Like I believe you that they fight. Like I'm not. You're wrong.
They're wrong. They didn't do it.
I just remember that. I remember the conversation aspect more than that. Is all I was trying to say. I mean, they're gonna fight because they're not gonna do the Obi-Wan Kenobi issue, which is introduce a villain and never have him fight.
Never use it. Yeah.
How did Reva never fight Obi-Wan ever? God, fudging damn. Anyway, no, but this, I think we're gonna have some, dude. We're gonna have a 5-person lightsaber fight next episode. Like,
that would be sick. That would be sick.
That'd be wild. 5.
Oh, I didn't even think about Merrick. Yeah, I forgot Merrick. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Merrick, we've got Ahsoka, we've got Shin and Baylan, and then we've got Hera, or not Hera, we've got Sabine. Which I also want to say I don't think we really like Sabine was great in this episode. Like again, I want to emphasize like I think her character. Again, I don't have an issue with the acting. I think they're doing a great job of like Sabine is warming up. Like, you know what I mean?
And they're not portraying the exact characters from Rebels because these are 5 years later, 10 years in the future,
several years since
whenever it was. Well, this is taking place
exposition with no guarantee date.
But yeah, no, they're all doing a good job of as we've seen so far of them representing the characters that have already been established in Rebels. As far as Hera, Ahsoka, Sabine. One thing real quick, when you were talking about the lightsaber duel, this is from episode 2. But just really cool. I forget if we talked about it or not. I know we talked about Ahsoka dodging the lightsaber, but I loved my favorite scene was when Merrick and Ahsoka and those those General Grievous looking robot things were fighting on Corellia.
Yeah,
and she kills both, or disarms and kills both of the robots. And Merrick stands there, kind of looks down at his lightsaber, and the second blade shoots out, and he's like, "All right, let's do it." Like, I thought that was such a cool, it was almost like Darth Maul-esque, like, "All right, we're going 2 this time." Like,
yeah, I actually, very similar to that. I didn't put the Maul connection together. I like that more because that's literally another double blade. I thought of it more along the lines of Vader in Empire. I love this. Again, these movies have great directing or vision, but when Vader fights Luke in Empire, he does it one-handed. He's like, none of this is he's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
He almost does it with his hand behind his back too. He's like, yeah.
But then in Jedi, I'm pretty sure it's a full two-handed. Like he's Luke's good. You know what I mean? And that's what, to me, that was that moment too. Like Marok wasn't taking Ahsoka seriously, and I was like, all right.
Oh shit, you're actually a Jedi. Yeah.
You're all right. Let's get this going.
You were Anakin's apprentice. Okay.
I was rewatching Clone Wars season 7 finale today, and needed a good cry. No, but no, I was rewatching that for fun, and the dodge, the Ahsoka dodge of the lightsaber. Anakin did that in Clone Wars. In part 1 of the finale, the finale with the Mandalore season, Mandalore. when they're showing the battle, I don't know what planet it's on, where Obi-Wan and Anakin are trying to take over a bridge that's like taken over by the Separatists.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anakin shows up and he's talking to Obi-Wan and he's just having a full conversation with Obi-Wan, and without looking away from Obi-Wan, he just does this, and a blaster shot just goes like right at him, and it's just very much the Ahsoka like this dodge. And I was like, I don't know if that was a on purpose callback to that, but
could have been an homage. Yeah.
I just love the, Anakin did something and then his Padawan does something.
It. Yeah.
Like it's the master and the apprentice, man. It's fucking like this shit's super good sometimes.
Yeah. Anything else?
Next episode, Ring's gonna activate.
Yeah.
5-person lightsaber fight.
Boom.
5-person lightsaber fight.
That's gonna be sick. I'm so pumped.
I think last thing, I don't think we talked about in our last one. Estimation on when Marok's unmasked.
Revealed?
Yeah. If we're gonna say Thrawn is 6 to 8,
it's gotta be before Thrawn.
I agree. I think there's a possibility it's next week.
It could be. Maybe during the fight, he's
like a mid-season finale kind of thing. Yeah.
So, I guess it is mid. Yeah.
I would say 4 or 5 is going to be my guess. I think it's soon. I really do.
It's definitely got to be before Thrawn gets there, because that's going to be
Thrawn
the big.
You can't take away from Thrawn.
Exactly. Yeah. That would take away from. Yeah.
That's why Filoni hired us to write it. We know the whole thing.
We know it. Just hire a bunch of nerds, Disney. You'll make good stuff.
We did the again watching the credits, like again awesome credits. Watching the credits, it's like I don't know, I forget who directed this one, but then it's like created by Dave Filoni. This is written by Dave Filoni. Fuck you, Dave Filoni.
Trademark Dave Filoni.
And then it was like executive producer every time. Executive producer Kathleen Kennedy. I'm like, boo.
You'll never be Dave.
Fun fact. Blew my mind. I saw Jurassic Park had its 30th anniversary and re-released in cinemas.
Ooh.
So I saw it in theaters this past weekend, which was cool to see. Kathleen Kennedy produced Jurassic Park.
Really? Wow.
Yep. Huh. I mean,
maybe
let's be honest. Producing is throw money at something and see how it goes. So who knows what she actually did? But
maybe she's got an in with like Spielberg and Lucasfilm and stuff like that, because Spielberg worked a lot with George Lucas in like the 80s and stuff.
That could have been how she got her job at Lucasfilms, was through Spielberg to Lucas, kind of.
Yeah.
I also don't know when she started working for Lucasfilms. I think it was
I don't know.
After Disney. Like
was it after the Disney acquisition?
I think it was like the acquisition, like she took that job. So it could have all been related.
I guess George Lucas was running the show before that. So.
It was just very similar to when I already forget his name, but the guy who directed the Ant-Man trilogy. And I was watching
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. I was watching Bring It On with Val. Directed by Edgar Wright.
Oh
no,
Peyton Reed. He was the original director. He was
right. Peyton Reed. I was watching Bring It On. It's like directed by Peyton Reed. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, the guy that did Ant-Man.
But yeah, I'll go Merrick next episode. Fuck it.
Okay.
5-person lightsaber fight. Mask gets sliced in half.
Boom.
Let's do it.
I really hope that happens. That'd be so fucking cool.
If it's by the way, I've been holding it the whole episode. I don't know if I just come into frame at all. I spent a lot of money on a thing.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
I got the thing, so I made fun of it, and it's still very much a piece of junk that I should not have gotten, but I did.
It's worth it.
But yeah, I still have to tinker around with it. I have no idea how to. I've completely forgot how to code it. But I am at Marok Starkiller point. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Marok Starkiller confirmed.
It has to be. I don't know. I really hope if it's not him, it's
just someone.
I forget her name. I hope it's the chick.
Barrisofi. Yeah.
The thing, it's tough because whoever it's gonna be, to anyone non like super nerds, I feel like it can't fill that void.
Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of worried about. It's not even is it Ezra, is it Starkiller? It's a like, you've presented another mask and you're gonna have to take that off and the fans have to like it.
Yeah.
So like, how do you make that
How do you-
fulfilling to
Yeah.
everyone? That's a tough.
Yeah.
You have him go, I'm Darth Vader, Secret of Apprentice. Boom.
Boom. That's how you
all I
please
need to know.
everyone.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Well, Star Killer, we hope to see you in the next episode, episode 4. If not, the show's dead to me. No. But
Can you imagine the money I'm gonna drop on Star Killer merch if he
that's
gets
gonna
canonized?
be insane.
Oh god. I hate it.
But yeah, that'll do it for this episode of Stars of Marvel. We're gonna keep pumping these out as Ahsoka comes out, and then right after Ahsoka, we got Loki episodes coming out. So
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So
keep an eye out for them. And at some point when we have another lull in shows, we're gonna do the the sequel trilogy.
Sequels are happening.
Sequels are happening.
We might Val and I we finished Ahsoka and we were like, maybe we'll do some Star Wars marathon in this weekend.
Yeah.
And part of me, I have never rewatched Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, really?
I don't know about you. I've rewatched The Last Jedi.
I've watched it a couple times. Yeah.
I really, and part of me wants this marathon that we may or may not do to be sequels just to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed watching it, but it was, you know, it was frustrating. I see that the thing was, you know, I'll save it for
the video. I love the tease. I part of me hopes we never do it. Like it's just the greatest.
Just the running gag of
We'll eventually talk about.
We'll eventually talk about
maybe.
It. When Disney stops producing stuff, we'll talk about it. But yeah, that'll do.
Save it for a Patreon.
Yeah.
Never make a Patreon.
Never make a Patreon. Yeah. It'll be $1 million tier on Patreon to hear the sequel review.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, all right, we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Peace.